Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhi Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. We are seeing the commentary of Bhagavadgita Shankaracharya Deva on the 5th Sutra of the Brahma Sutras. Atra aha. Now it is being said, Yaduktam na achetanam pradhanam jagat karanam ikshitritva shravanad iti. So here, Bhagavad Shankaracharya, he is positing or presenting an objection which would be clarified by the next sutra. Usually this is called introductory commentary. Commentary which is an introduction to the next verse or next chapter or next sutra. That means what is going to come. So here in this introductory commentary, Shankaracharya is presenting the opinion of the Purva Paksha, and he is also using one, there is a usage where Purva Paksha is saying that our Purva Paksha, that means Purva Paksha's Purva Paksha, that means Siddhanti, that means Advaita Vedanti, that is there here. So, Yad Uktam, what has been said previously, Na Achetanam Pradhanam Jagat Karanam, that it has been said by Advaita Vedantins that Pradhana, the principle called Pradhana, can na achetanam, it cannot be the Jagat Karanam. Pradhana, which is insentient or unconscious, it cannot be Jagat Karanam, it cannot be the cause of the universe, because Ikshitritva Shravanad iti. Because Shravanad, the scriptures or the Vedas or the Upanishads, they say Ikshitritva, one who can do the action of Ikshana, that means one can think. Only that person can be the cause, or that principle can be the cause of the universe. Only that principle can be the cause of the universe. So because Pradhana is unconscious, insentient, it cannot be the cause of the universe, because it cannot do the activity of Ikshana. It cannot think. So that has been told. So here the Purva Paksha is saying that this has been told. Tad, that argument, Anyatha api, in a different manner also, Upapadyate, it can be logical. How? So this is, we have to understand, this is completely the argument of the Purva Paksha, that is Sankhya. How? So they are saying that, you see, earlier Advaitins, they said that Pradhana, which is not conscious, cannot be the cause of the universe, because the Upanishad says that the cause of the universe has the ability of Ikshitritva, of imagining or thinking or contemplating, and so it cannot be done by an unconscious principle, and so Pradhana is not the cause of the universe. So that can be seen in a different manner also. What is the different manner? Achetane api chetanavat upachara darshanat. Because we do see darshanat, we observe achetane api, even if something is unconscious or not sentient, insentient, chetanavat upachara, it is treated as though it is sentient. So we do see in practice that a particular thing or entity which is not sentient is treated as sentient. So that is why we can say that though pradhana is insentient, it can be treated as sentient. And so it can become the cause of the universe. That's the idea. Yatha, for example, pratyasanna patanatam nadyaha. Yatha, just like prati asanna patanatam nadyaha. Kulasya alakshya kulam pipatishati iti achaitane api kule chetanavat upacharah drishtah. So example is given. Pratyasanna patanatam nadyaha. So seeing a river which is about to go beyond its banks, that means which is overflowing. Pratyasanna patanatam means which is about to overflow, means which is about to break its banks. The banks will be breached, it will overflow. Nadyaha, seeing the rivers or river, kulasya alakshya, from the bank of the river, somebody is seeing that the river is about to overflow, it is flooding and it is breaking the banks or breaching the banks. That person says, kulam pipatishati. So says the bank is falling. Bank is falling. Iti achetane api kule chetanavat upacharah. So though the bank of a river bank is not conscious, it is not sentient, it is insentient, unconscious, even though that is the case, chetanavat upacharah, it is treated as though it is conscious and it is sentient. That we drishtah, we see. Tadvat, similarly, achetane api, even though it is unconscious or insentient, pradhane, in pradhana, pratyasanna sarge, just before the creation of the universe, just before the creation, sarga, creation of the universe, pratyasanna means about to be, just before the creation, chetanavat upacharah bhavishyati, it is treated like conscious. So just before creation will come, it is treated like conscious. It is treated as though it is conscious. Chetanavat upachara. Tad aikshata iti. So one can say that just like a river bank, though it is unconscious, when the river is breaching the banks or it is overflowing from the banks, a person says that kula patati, kulam pipatishati, means the bank is falling. The bank is falling. Though river bank is not conscious or sentient, it is falling. Similarly, one can say that just before, when the creation of this universe is imminent, that time pradhana is treated as though it is conscious or sentient, and it is said tad aikshata, it imagines or it sees or it contemplates. Yatha, also like loke in the world, Kashchit Chetanaha, some person who is Chetana. Chetana means one who is conscious, a person. Snatva Bhuktva Cha, a person who, after taking bath and after eating, after having a shower and eating, Aparanne Gramam, in the afternoon, Gramam goes to the village, Rathena Gamishyami iti. So I will visit the village by my chariot. Rathena means I will use my chariot and I will go to the village. Like that, after bathing and after bhuktva, after eating food, a person who is conscious may say like that. Ikshitva anantaram tathaiva niyamena pravartate. So ikshitva, after having thought like that, after having contemplated that I will take bath, I will eat food, and by my chariot, I will go to the village. After thinking like that, after planning like that, a person, what does he do? Tathaiva niyamena pravartate. So afterwards, that person does the same thing, niyamena, exactly follows the same thing. Tatha, similarly, pradhanam api, the principle called pradhana also, mahad adi akarena niyamena pravartate. Also by the principles called mahat and so on, because there are many principles. Sankhya, there are 24 principles. So like that, mahat and so on, using the principles of mahat and so on, by the principles of mahat and so on, niyamena pravartate, creates the universe just like it thinks that I will create. Tasmat, therefore, chetanavat upacharyate. One treats pradhana as though it is conscious. Pradhana, a principle, is treated as though it is conscious. Kasmat punaha karanat vihaya mukhyam ikshitritvam aupacharikam kalpyate. Also, now the question, now this is the argument of the Purva Paksha. So this argument is continuing. Now the question comes, Kasmat Punah Karanat. Kasmat Karanat. For what reason or because of what reason? Mukhyam Ikshitritvam Vihaya. So in Sanskrit, as I have told earlier many times, in Samskrita you can put a word anywhere. So Vihaya Mukhyam Ikshitritvam Aupacharikam. Mihaya Mukhyam Ikshitritvam. Like that. So Vihaya Mukhyam Ikshitritvam Vihaya. Giving up the main power of contemplation, Ishitritvam, the ability to contemplate, giving up that, Aupacharikam kalpyate. Aupacharikam means figurative Ikshitritvam. So again, Ikshitritvam means the ability to contemplate. So how or for what reason is the main power of contemplating given up? And in Pradhana, there is no power of contemplating. So it is only figurative power of contemplating. Why is that thought of? So that is, why is it thought of? Because tat teja aikshata, ta apa aikshanta, Chandogya Upanishad. So the Purva Paksha quotes the Upanishad. Tat teja aikshata, that fire it thought or it did ikshana. Ta apa aikshanta, that water thought or contemplated. Iti, in this manner, cha achetanayoho api tejasayoho achetanayoho api achetanayoho api ap tejasoho chetanavat upachara darshanat. So in this manner, though they are unconscious, they are insentient. Achaitanayoho api ap tejasoho, water and fire, chetanavat upachara darshanat. They are treated as though they are chetana, they are conscious. Tasmat, therefore, satkartrikam api ikshanam aupacharikam iti gamyate. So therefore, the one whose doer or agent is Sat, one whose agent or the agent of which action or the doer of which action is present, that api ikshanam, that ikshana also aupacharikam iti gamyate, upachara praye vachanat iti. So here, because fire and water, though they are not conscious, they are also treated as though they are conscious. Therefore, even if some entity has a reality, even if an entity has a reality and that entity has the action, does the action of ikshana, contemplation, even then that entity can be treated as figurative. That contemplation can be treated as figurative. This we can infer from the Upanishadic statement where it says that fire thought or water thought. We can infer that the action thought can be figuratively ascribed to an entity which is not conscious. Why? Because upachara praye vachanatiti. Vachana, the scriptural statement, has such upachara praya, means in that scripture or in the Upanishads or Vedas, many places such ascribing of imaginary things or figurative things are done. So just like fire is contemplating, water is contemplating, like that, upachara praye means there is prachurya. There are many examples of such figurative understanding. So that is why we can always say that tad aikshata, that is it thought, there it means pradhana. This is the argument of the Sankhya philosopher. Now Shankaracharya says, evam prapte idam sutram arabhyate. Upon getting such an argument, upon receiving such an argument, then this sutra is started. What is the sutra? It is the sixth sutra. We are now entering into the sixth sutra. Gaunaha chet na atma shabdat. Gaunash chennatma shabdat. Gaunaha chet na atma shabdat. Gaunaha chet na atma shabdat. So here, chet means if. So if we say that the cause of the universe is Gaunaha, cause of the universe is Gaunaha. If we say like that, cause of the universe is, or the not cause of the universe, the word ikshita, that is the word contemplation, tad aikshata, that is Gaunaha. It is used in a secondary sense or a figurative sense. If we say like that, na, it cannot be said atma shabdat, because there is this word atma shabda. Atma word is used as the cause of the universe. So if we say that the word ikshata or ikshati is used in the secondary sense or a figurative sense, that cannot be accepted. Why? Because in that particular place in scripture, the word Atman is used for the cause of the universe. So tad aikshata, where it comes, this place, in that very place, after some words, Atma word is used for the cause of the universe. And so the action of contemplation is not figurative, it is main, it is important. This is the meaning of the sutra. This is the meaning of the sutra. So that is why we have to consider contemplation or aikshana or ikshana to be a very important action. You cannot say that it is a figurative thing or it has to be taken only secondarily. Yaduktam, what has been said, pradhanam achetanam sat shabda vachyam tasmin aupacharika ikshatihi aptejasoho iva iti. What has been said just before the sutra began, we saw the argument. We saw the argument of the Sankhya philosophers. What was the argument? Pradhanam achetanam, the unconscious pradhana, which is sat shabda vachyam, which is denoted by the word sat. Tasmin aupacharika ikshatihi aptejasoho iva iti. So, sat word, actually, according to Sankhya philosophers, sat word denotes the unconscious or insentient pradhana. Just like water and fire, they have figurative power of contemplating. Similarly, pradhana also has figurative power of contemplation. This has been told. Tad asat, that is not correct, or that is not acceptable, or that is refuted. That is refuted. Kasmat, why are you refuting this? Refuted by whom? Advaita Vedanti. Why are you refuting? Atma Shabdat Tadeva Somya Idamagra Asit iti upakramya tad aikshata tad tejo asrajata iti cha tejo abannanam srushtim muktva tadeva prakritam tadikshitr tani cha tejo abannani devata shabdena paramrishyah seyam devata ikshata hantaham imas trisro devata anena jivena atmana anupravishya namarupe vyakaravani iti. So, why do you reject Atma Shabdat by the word Atman? By the word Atman, Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit. In the Chandogya Upanishad, the passage starts like this. Sad eva, Sat eva Somya, Somya, Idam Agra Asit. In the beginning or before, prior to the origin or the creation of this universe, Agra, in the beginning or prior to the creation of the universe, Idam Sad eva Asit. This was only Sat, only existence. Universe was just existence. Somya, Somya means, oh, good looking one. So this is told by the father to the son who has come from Gurukula. So Shvetaketo's father is telling to Shvetaketu. So that is why good looking one. Oh, cute one. Oh, Munna, like that, Hindi something they will say. On all languages, that's one endearing way they will call. So that way, Sad eva idam agra asit. In the beginning or beginning of the universe, this Sad eva, existence alone was there. Iti upakramya, starting in this manner, tad aikshata, it thought, tad tejo asrajata, it created fire. Like that in Chandogya Upanishad, iticha, ending with these words. So starts with Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit and ends with Tadaikshata Tattejo Asrujata. Iticha, in this manner, Tejo up annanam. Tejo up annanam. So of fire, water and food. Shrishtim uktva. Having told the creation of fire, water and food. Tadeva prakritam sad ikshitru. So after having told about the creation of fire, water and food, Tadeva prakritam sad ikshitru. That same sat or the principle which exists, that same sat which has been already talked of, prakritam has been talked of, that sat having this power of ikshitru, contemplation, that sat having the power of contemplation or ikshitru, which has been already talked of. Tani cha tejah up annani devata shabdena paramrishya aha. So the same thing which is existing, a entity which is existing, which is having the quality of contemplation, that same thing is talked of again by denoting water, fire and food with the word devata. Devata shabdena paramrishya aha. So it is being told by using the word devata for fire, water and food, and it is told Seyam devata aikshata. Seyam devata aikshata. It was thought of, contemplated of by the devatas. Devatas. So that devata thought, or that God thought, Hantaham imaha tisro. So in these Hantaham, now in these imaha tisro devataha, in these three devatas or gods, anena jivena, through jivatma, atmana anupravishya, entering, I shall enter through jivatma into these three gods, and after entering namarupe vyakaravani, I will manifest name and form. In Chandogya Upanishad itself it is there. So that means God, the word God, Devata, has been ascribed to fire, water and food. And it is told that now that the God thought, what did the God think? That now I will, through the Jivatma, individual soul, enter into these gods. These gods means fire, water and food. And I will manifest Nama Rupe. I will manifest in the form of name and form. I will manifest iti. In this manner it is thinking. Tatra yadi, there if pradhanam achetanam gunavrittya ikshitra kalpyeta, there if we were to posit or we were to imagine pradhanam achetanam, insentient pradhana, unconscious pradhana, which is also figuratively, if we were to add the power of contemplation or thinking to pradhana, yadi kalpyeta, if we were to add in that manner, tadeva prakritatvat Seyam Devata iti paramrishyeta. Now see what has happened. That Pradhana, if we were to contemplate that contemplation power Pradhana has got in a figurative manner, then what will happen? Because of the context, Prakritatvat, because of that particular context, Seyam Devata iti paramrishyeta. That Pradhana will be referred to as Seyam Devata, that Devata thought. So what is that Devata? That Devata is the cause of the universe. That thought that I will use these three Devatas. Those three Devatas are fire, water and food. But this Devata thought, what did the Devata think? That I will use these Devatas, I will enter into these Devatas by the individual soul and create or manifest name and form. But if Pradhana, which is insentient or unconscious, is to be taken in a figurative manner to have the power of thinking, then that Pradhana will become Devata. Saye Seyam Devata. That Devata Pradhana will become, which will be ludicrous because Natada Devata Jivam Atma Shabdena Abhidadyat. Because such a Devata cannot be meant by the word Atma. Because Atma, it cannot be meant by the word Atma. Pradhana cannot be referred by the word Atma. So Devata, if Pradhana becomes Devata, that Devata, then Jivatma, Jiva Atma is there. That Jivatma, Jivam Atma Shabdena na Abhidadyad. So by the word Atma, it is not referred to, it is not defined by the word Atma. It is not defined. Why? Etymologically problematic. The etymology of the word Atma does not in any way connect to something which is insentient. That is the problem. How? Jivo hi nama chetanaha. By the very word Jiva, Jivo hi nama means what is called Jiva? Chetanaha, conscious. Something that is conscious, that is called Jiva. Sharira Adhyakshaha. Also, it is the master of the body. It is the master of the body. Prananam Dharayita. Also, Jiva is something which holds prana. So, we have 5 Mahaprana, 5 Upaprana. We have 5 big prana and 5 small prana. So, all these pranas are held by the individual soul, Jiva, individual soul, Jiva. So prananam dharayita, one who carries the prana. Tad prasiddhehe nirvachanat cha. And that is what is understood. Tad prasiddhehe nirvachanat cha. Tad prasiddhehe, the meaning, this meaning is what is understood to be the meaning of the word Atma. Also nirvachanat cha. Also etymologically also it is the meaning. Etymologically means the root word of Atma, it also means the same. So the lexicographical or the dictionary meaning is also the same. So that is why you cannot say that Atma is Pradhana, because Jivatma can never be something insentient or unconscious. Sa katham acetanasya pradhanasya atma bhavet. So that jiva, individual soul, which is jivo hi nama chetanaha. Jiva itself is that which is conscious, means only conscious things are called jiva. How sa katham, how that Achetanasya pradhanasya atma bhavet. How that can be the Atma of insentient, unconscious pradhana. That conscious, sentient individual Atma, Jivatma, how can it be the Atma of insentient, unconscious pradhana? It cannot be. It cannot be. Atma hi nama swarupam. Atma hi nama swarupam. Also, Atma means, what is Atma? Swarupa is called Atma. Swarupa means form, nature, the true nature. So Atma is true nature. It is quite established. It is quite established that Atma is true nature. Chetana jiva na acetanasya pradhanasya chetano jivaha swarupam bhavitum arhati. So Atma means nature, true nature. So how can that Atma become the nature of pradhana? That is what is told. Na acetanasya pradhanasya. Of insentient or unconscious pradhana, chetanah jivah swarupam bhavitum na arhati. Conscious or sentient jiva can never be the true nature or nature of unconscious, insentient pradhana. Pradhana is what? It is unconscious. Pradhana is what? It is unconscious. It is insentient. What is jiva? It is conscious. It is sentient. So how can jiva be the true nature? Be the true nature of pradhana? It cannot be. Simple. Athatu. And so also, chetanam brahma mukyam ishitra parigrihyate. So, if we accept that conscious Brahman is the entity that thought or contemplated, tasya jiva vishaya atma shabda prayoga upapadyate. So then, relating to the individual Atman, Atma word, the usage of the word Atma will be upapadyate. It will be logical. It will be logical. So if we accept pradhana, if we accept that, not pradhana, if we accept that the conscious Brahman is the cause of the universe, and that conscious Brahman is what did ikshitritva, means contemplated. If we accept this, then it will become easier, or it will become more logical, that the individual soul is referred to by the word Atman. Tatha, also in the same manner, Saya esho anima aitadatmyamidam sarvam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketo iti atra sa atma iti prakritam sad animanam atmanam atma shabdena upadishya tattvamasi shvetaketo iti chetanasya shvetaketoho atmatvena upadishati. So further we can also say that Eshaha, which what has been told by the, what has been referred to by the word Sat, that Saya Eshaha, Anima, it is Anima. Anima means very subtle of the subtle, subtlest of the subtlest. Aitadatmyam. So Anima Aitadatmyam idam sarvam. So this, all that, whatever is there in this universe, it is all the nature of it. Tat satyam. and that all is real. Sa Atma, and that is Atma. Tattvamasi Shvetaketo, you are that Shvetaketu. Iti atra, in this passage of the Vedas, that is Chandogya Upanishad, Sa Atma iti, what has been told by the phrase the Atma or that Atma or that is Atma, iti prakritam, like that what has been expressed, sad, which is sad, which is what we understand by the word sat or real, animanam, and also which is understood by the word sat, which is animanam, subtle, of the nature of a very subtle nature, subtle, atmanam, and that is atma. So that subtle atma, which is also referred to by the word sat, that is atma shabdena upadashya. After having taught that atman, or after having taught about that atman by the word atma, tattvamasi shvetaketo iti, saying tattvamasi shvetaketu, O Shvetaketu, you are that, in this manner, iti, in this manner, chetanasya shvetaketoho atmatvena upadishati. So chetanasya shvetaketoho atmatvena upadishati, that by the form of Atman, or through the form of Atman, the conscious Shvetaketu is being taught. Conscious Shvetaketu is being taught. Aptejasoho tu vishayatvat achetanatvam. Aptejayoho vishayatvat achetanatvam. So tejasoho tu vishayatvat achetanatvam. So here up means water, teja means fire. That they are all, because they are objects, they are also achetana, they are unconscious. They are unconscious. Nama Rupa Vyakaranadau cha Prayojatvenaiva Nirdeshat. And Nama Rupa Vyakaranadau cha. So here what we are seeing is the treating of fire and water in a figurative manner. In a figurative manner, treating the ability of contemplating of fire and water. So fire thought, water thought, this kind of thinking fire and water cannot have. But we have ascribed that power. It has been ascribed figuratively. And that becomes logical. Yes, it can only be ascribed figuratively. Why? Nama Rupa Vyakaranadau cha. Why? Because it is Vishayatvat. Because it is Vishaya. It is Vishaya means it is the object of the senses, what fire and water. And so it can be treated in a figurative manner. It only makes sense that it is treated in a figurative manner. Nama Rupa Vyakaranadau cha Prayojyatvenaiva Nirdeshat. Also, it has been referred to Nirdeshat. It has been referred to Prayojyatvenaiva, something which has only some utility, in a manner of that which has utility. Nama Rupa Vyakaranadau. In relation to, or with reference to the expression of name and form, or the creation of name and form also, fire and water have been used only as the thing which is necessary or the thing which is used. And so therefore, nacha atma shabdavat kinchin mukhyatve karanam asti iti yuktam kulavat gaunavatvam ikshitritvatvasya. So in the case of fire and water, just like kulavat gaunatvam ikshitrittvasya, only of ikshitritva, that is of the action of contemplation or thinking, only figurative meaning can be ascribed, just like figurative meaning is ascribed in the case of nadi, river. River, in the case of river, figurative meaning is ascribed. When we say that river falls, so river cannot fall, it is only figuratively we say that. Similarly, in the case of fire and water, this thinking can be only figurative. Because Atma Shabdavat Kinchin Mukhyatve Karanas Asna Asti Iti. Because just like the word Atman, you cannot have a main reason to accept that fire and water have the ability to contemplate. There is no reason to accept like that, because fire and water, they are objects of the senses, and so they don't have the ability to contemplate or think. So therefore, it is only logical, or it is only plausible, it only stands to reason that we treat this ability of, or this imagined ability of contemplation of pradhana or fire and water as figurative. Tayoho apicha sad adishtitatva apeksham eva ishitritvam. Also, tayoho api, that means of water and fire, sad adishtitatva apeksham eva ishitritvam. The ability, even if it is in a figurative manner that we ascribe the ability of contemplation to fire and water, even then that ability is only because it is based on sat. It is based on reality, sat adishtitatvat. And satsu atma shabdat na gaunam ikshitritvam iti uktam. So this has been told, iti uktam, it has been told that satsu atma shabdat na gaunam ikshitritvam. Atma shabdat, because the word atman has been used, satsu means the of sat, of that which is real, ikshitritvam gaunam na ikshitritvam. So gaunam na ikshitritvam, of atman, the quality of contemplating cannot be gaunam, cannot be figurative, cannot be figurative. Because why it cannot be figurative? Because it is connected with reality, and so it cannot be figurative. It has to be true, it has to be main. So atma, in the case of atma. So here we end today. The other passage we will see day after tomorrow. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Okay. Shubharatri.
I have one question, Maharaj.
Yes.
Like if mind is a pradhana, right? If you look at the mind is an insentient object.
No, mind is not pradhana. Pradhana is a principle which is talked of in Sankhya philosophy. Mind is not pradhana. Mind is insentient. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's
What was the question? Mind is insentient. That is,
no, mind is insentient. So it borrows the sentience from the consciousness, right?
yeah, but mind has no no. It does not
Uh.
borrow sentience
Mhm.
because mind is always insentient.
Okay.
It is not, it has the semblance of sentience. It appears as though it is sentient. It does not borrow, because when you borrow, you actually become sentient. It is not like that. It
Okay.
is always insentient. It appears to be sentient because of ignorance.
Okay.
So
And
adhyasa, sentience of Brahman, is superimposed on mind. Itaretara adhyasa, we saw in Adhyasa Bhashya. Adhyasa, mutual superimposition. So mind is superimposed on Brahman. Brahman is superimposed on mind.
Okay. Thanks, Maharaj. And I have one more question, which is not related to this one, but in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 8, we see that we see the sloka of manifest and unmanifestation of things, right? So, and then it also refers to like wherein the Brahma, the cycle, like one day of Brahma has it manifests things in the universe, and one night of Brahma, like it gets unmanifested. So in this process, when I say unmanifestation, does everything gets dissolved, like including the subtle things, like the causal body, subtle things, everything get dissolved, or it's just the, I just need a clarity on that one. Like when I say dissolution, what exactly dissolution means?
Everything gets dissolved.
Okay.
Everything gets dissolved. Causal body, everything, causal body, ajnana ceases to exist. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, it is told, Yato va imani bhutani jayante, etc. From where all these living beings come, where they are maintained, by which it is maintained, and where it is abhisham vishanti iti. So where they get dissolved. So that means dissolve means there is pralaya, means actually the creation ends. It's an end of a cycle of creation.
Okay. So
So
in that,
jokingly, we cannot also say that it is ice age, because ice age means ice is there. There's nothing there. No name and form exists. Everything goes on.
So if that is the case, then all the karma also should have got burnt, right? Even the karma should burn. And then because there is nothing left.
Yes, but there is also another theory that how it goes like that, it comes out like. So if somebody has not got mukti, that person will continue in the next creation cycle also to not have mukti. Like that also theory is there.
Okay.
So as and where they were, they will go like that and come out. Because I understood what you're saying. Your drift would be like, then why do we need to practice? Because at the end of the creation cycle, anyway, we will all become mukta. If one has got that kind of an argument, that point is that when that end of creation will come, we don't know. Till then we have to suffer. So better to end the suffering earlier itself.
Okay. Thanks, Maharaj. Thanks.
Okay. Shubhratri.
Shubhratri, Maharaj.